Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
Hello, welcome everybody. I hope you guys are enjoying your day so far. We are here for the Alpha X series number 2 between Astrea and RagnaroK. I'm your caster Snoopy, and joined by my side is Matisse.
Hey there. Nice to be here. Excited to watch this game. Oh, it's already starting. Okay.
Yeah, so if you guys are not familiar with the format, it is a best of 9. So first player to 5 wins does win the series. It is going to be a $125 prize pool with a 70% and 30% split. So yeah, we are going to get started here on Ephemeron LE.
And in the top left corner, we have Korean Zerg playing as blue. It's Chivo RagnaroK.
And spawning here at the bottom right, we have our red Protoss player from Alpha X. It is Astrea.
Cool. So, what are your predictions about this match?
You know what? It is. I feel like it's going to be a pretty even series. I'm not going to predict a complete walkover. Both of these players, I think, skill level wise, are pretty around the same. Maybe. I haven't seen much of RagnaroK games, but I have seen a lot of Astrea just because he's on the team. But yeah, I think I'm not gonna say predict the score, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be pretty close. How about you?
Yeah, I'm not sure. So apparently, I think Artosis and No Regret made a video about ZvP of Astrea, so I haven't watched that yet. But they, so since they focused on that, it seems it might be pretty nice. So I'm excited to see. I think Astrea is very unorthodox player, so sometimes that plays out really well, and sometimes it can backfire. And RagnaroK, on the other hand, he's the Muta guy, and also just like from time to time Muta, obviously not always. But he's a very strong player, and I've seen him beat Zest quite convincingly recently, and I think RagnaroK is very strong. So I would lean slightly favorite for RagnaroK, but not sure how much. We'll see by probably just in the first game we're gonna get a good feel about this.
Yeah, and I believe Astrea is currently in the United States.
I think he's in Korea. He's in that pro house with other foreign pro gamers.
Okay, good. Yeah, so basically both of them are in Korea, so luckily shouldn't have no ping issues. But we do see that the first 4 links out here for RagnaroK will be chasing down this probe, as Astrea is gonna go for the Stargate play here.
And he's also going for a second adept. So with second adept, he might elect to just do some kind of pressure, or he might just keep it at home to prevent the run by of Zerglings. We'll see what he's gonna do. He's not chrono boosting the second adept, so I think it's gonna stay home. And that gives RagnaroK ability to scout that Stargate. Let's see if he's gonna elect to do it. He could just go back with Overlord and hide it, or he might just go in and try to scout for the Stargate. Let's see. Okay, the Overlord doesn't move at all, so hard to say what he's gonna do. For RagnaroK, everything looks standard. Yeah. And you are what race do you play?
I
Protoss,
play,
right?
yeah, Protoss.
Protoss. Okay. All right. So RagnaroK is going in, and what do you think about these Stargate openings? Do you like them?
I feel like the Stargate opening is like the currently most common Protoss opening in PvZ. I feel like it's a pretty safe, solid build. You can get the Phoenix to take down any overlords around the bases just to prevent scouting, and possibly if you can do that, you can maybe pull off a surprise attack. We've seen a lot of Protoss player, they take out the initial overlords around their bases, and then they go for something like crazy, like a 8-gate charge lot all in or something like that. I don't expect Astrea to go for that, as he is gonna looking to go for a follow-up Orko. So it's looked like a pretty kind of a standard opening here, standard build order from Astrea.
Yeah, it looks really, really normal. I wonder if he's gonna go for the third Oracle. It seems he's not, because the problem with the third Oracle, it's actually kind of expensive, right? So it slows down your Tech King, your Storm, your Templar Archives, your even, I guess, I think it slows down Forge and Twilight, right? So you don't want that to happen. So this was just a moment in the meta where it was very popular. I think it's still quite okay, just from time to time, maybe. Right?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, I've seen some players go for 2 Orcos, or they go for 3 Orcos, or 3 Orcos, maybe even 4 or 5 Orcos that they want to be super committed. But looks like Astrea, he's moving out with these Fuel Adepts, looking to put some pressure on RagnaroK. And what do we have for RagnaroK? He does have a good amount of links, so I feel like he should be okay.
Yeah. I think so. This is attack without even resonating glaives. So I think, yeah. So now there's a surround. Oh, Astrea decided that he wants to recall because he knows this had no chances whatsoever. However, RagnaroK is actually on very low drone count, so it seems that he actually wants to punish, maybe even cancel the third base, and he might succeed at doing this.
Ooh, but there are some units here, some sentries and some shield batteries. He does also have the Orko, so if he needs to, he can retreat them and help defend. But in the meantime, we do have a Spire coming out for RagnaroK, and I believe this hasn't been scouted yet. Let me go ahead and check. Yep, no, it has not been scouted, so this might actually catch Astrea off guard. But he does have the Stargate. He did open with the Stargate, so at least he will have at least access to those Phoenixes. But the important thing is that he got to scout it to make sure that he doesn't take too much damage from the Mutalisk.
Yeah, and what's very interesting about RagnaroK is that he constantly poked with the links, so that sentries are not at that high energy. So that means that he might be hesitant to send out hallucinations, and then suddenly he might not know about what's coming, right? And it seems like Astrea is very afraid of what's going on. He doesn't mine from the third base. He was even maybe expecting some kind of roach link all-in. And so it seems like he's slightly misreading the situation, and that might cause him some problem in the future. Let's see.
Yeah, just as he feels safe to move out, he's gonna meet up with the Zerg army, but the Zerg army will retreat, and looks like 8 Mutalisks on the way for RagnaroK. So this isn't super committed, just a few Mutalisks just to harass, and I think he's gonna rely mainly on the Ling Ravager Roach army composition.
Yeah, and out of Mutas, I've seen him transition to Banelings quite often and just do massive attack. So who knows what's that gonna be? But the very interesting thing about all of this is that RagnaroK is playing on insanely low economy, right? So he's playing at most of the time he was playing at 55 or something, and now he managed to drone up a little bit more to 63. But it's actually quite smart, because as a Protoss, you cannot move out against that, right? And against Mutas, the best thing to do, except just Phoenixes, is moving out to force units out of Zerg. But Astrea is doing actually pretty fine. The Phoenixes are on the way. I think the Observer spotted them, so he's pushing back the Mutas, and it seems RagnaroK is not doing that much damage with the Mutas yet, and there is huge attack at the third base right now.
Yeah, the cannon and the shield battery is going to help. It looks like the majority of the links has evaporated, and looks like Astrea will hold no problem, and actually will push this army back. We'll see if he does go for a follow-up counterattack, but pretty good hold there so far for Astrea.
Yeah, I think he's in pretty good position. However, there were a little bit of damage here and there, and RagnaroK has decent economy now. So I wouldn't say Astrea is decisively winning, because he also is not really taking to Storm right now, and I'm not sure if that's a good idea, because RagnaroK is gonna have probably million banelings soon, right? So he's kind of transitioning to Hydra Bane of sorts. And against Banelings, not having Storm can be pretty tough, right? Like there is a new trend to people just go a lot of Archons against that, and that's pretty good, yes. But I still think you kind of want splash damage as a Protoss, simply because Zerg has so much stuff in general.
Yeah, the only splash damage unit he has right now is the Archons, which isn't enough. He definitely needs some storm tech or maybe even some disruptor tech, some additional splash damage unit to kind of blow this Roach Hydralisk army up. But looks like a RagnaroK is gonna go for the attack here at the 4th base of Astrea. And he does have a lot of mortars though, so that's a good thing. But a few
Uh,
banelings.
that army of Astrea is for sure it's very high quality. But Ragnarok is building up his Baneling count. He is at 16, yes, but he's building 10 more right now, so that's gonna be 25. And I've seen Koreans go up to some ridiculous numbers like 50, 60, 70 Banelings. And how do you beat 70 Banelings without splash damage?
Yeah, that's a lot of banelings.
Okay, 10 more coming, right? So, yes, and I've done the math, and the weirdest part is, if Baneling splashes on top of 2 Archons, that's already cost-efficient Baneling, assuming it kills it eventually, right? So, it requires insane splits from Protoss, and it might be very, very tough. Okay, so that's 47 Banelings, and the count, it seems it's... Okay, so now Ragnarok decides to attack. This is very bad angle to attack, I think, but... it seems like, yeah. So Astrea is holding ramp like a boss, not really allowing these Banelings to go through. Really nice force fields, and that's he reduced the number of Banelings by 30, which is a huge success. I think he's feeling very happy about what happened right there.
Yeah, that's the key thing, the force field, making sure that the banelings doesn't get on top of the Protoss army. And now he's got some stasis wards to help with that. And now he's got a bunch of army. Let's see how many Archons is that. That's 9 total 10 Archons now, 7 Immortals. So that is a pretty beefy army there.
Yeah, very scary army, I would say. So I think so the timing that Ragnarok was trying to go for is slowly passing. Like right now, there is such a huge army for Astrea. When he gets 200 units, army of Zerg is just gonna be pretty bad, because yes, Banelings are very scary, but there's still a lot of Roaches, quite a lot of Ravagers, Hydras too. Hydras are actually pretty good, but the Roaches right now, they're kind of dead supply against 8 Immortals and 13 Archons, right? So it's a huge number. So I think the quality of Zerg army is slowly declining right now, and so he decided to go into Lurkers. However, Lurkers right now, they would be really good like 3 minutes ago or something, but right now, against this number of Archons and Zealots, I'm not sure if Lurkers are that good.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he also has I believe he does still have the Oracle, right? Yeah, he does have still 2 Oracles, so he can revelate those Lurkers if he wanted to. And Immortal Archons on top of Lurkers, that's the unit composition that you want as a Protoss if you're facing against that. Look at that. All those blue balls. So beautiful. They're like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, 15 Archons, man. I only see Drogo playing this many, but on the other hand, if Ragnarok manages to get up to like a huge number of Lurkers, it still could be very tough for him. Okay, there's huge engagement. These force fields are working very well together with Archons, but it seems... Okay, so it seems Astrea is breaking through. However, it all depends right now on reinforcements. Is Astrea... Okay, so Astrea is sending 10 more Zealots, and Ragnarok doesn't seem to build anything rather than just Lynx and Hydras, and I don't think that's gonna be enough.
Yeah, and look at the Bank of Astrea. He's okay. Ragnarok, not looking good for him. He does have a lot of gas, but not a lot of minerals. And it looks like, wow, oh my god, all those additional BTs warping in, and that is just proving too much, and Astrea will go up 1-0 against Ragnarok.
Nice. That was very convincing. I think the force fields were key at the fourth. Really nice counter of Mutas. It was really good play from Astrea.
Yeah, pretty solid build and a pretty solid execution there, and just a overall solid, decent game. And RagnaroK will have to answer him in game number 2. Let's see if he has something up his sleeve. It is going to be RagnaroK's map of choice, as this is losers pick the next map. So we'll see what map he decides to go for.
Yep. Yeah, I think okay, that's World of Sleepers. He decided to choose. I wonder what's the reason behind this choice. I guess it's a quite good Zerg map. It's quite open, right? What else? There's not that much gas available, so maybe Protoss struggles to build all their powerful units, since those two bases that were reached before, right now they are not reached, and there's only one geyser there, right? So maybe that's influencing his choice. But yeah, it's considered a pretty good Zerg map, I think. So it's a pretty solid choice.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the natural is really wide open, and it's not a ramp where it's going down. You can actually, you're in a pretty level playing field in terms of the ground level. So I think, kind of like aggressive cheeses can work really well for Zerg.
That's a very good point. Yes. So in the top right corner, we have Korean Zerg from Team Chivo. That's RagnaroK.
And spawning at the bottom left, we have our red Protoss player from Team Alpha X. It is Astrea.
Yeah, so I think in BlizzCon on this map, Laser decided to do some kind of Roach Queen Ravager Link all in, and I think it killed the Nib. However, he was abusing the gold, like the rich Vespin geyser back then. But it exactly speaks to your point. Not having a ramp in front of the natural is actually pretty tough for Protoss to deal with. I completely agree.
Yeah. By the way, just want to give a little bit of a shout out. We did have some followers. Sorry if I butcher your name, but Libero 0006 as well as WLWL Yo. Appreciate the follow and the support. I think we started the stream with 719 followers on here on our Twitch. And I feel like it's going to be a goal of ours to at least reach 1K by the end of the year. So thank you for all the follows and the love and support.
Perfect. Yeah, these show matches are usually very high level players actually playing. Like this is last week we had Zest against TY, I think. We had Su against Innovation. So it's just a quality matches, and it's I'm actually to a point where I'm looking forward to next match to see what can I learn from these guys. Like this is such a high level play that it's really worth it to watch them.
Oh yeah, for sure. And by the way, guys, if you don't know, you can if you subscribe to our Twitch channel, or if you commit I think $5 or more on Patreon, you automatically get all the replays from all these high level quality matches. So if that's something that interests you, then definitely that's an option that you can take.
Yeah, and those are really valuable replays. We've been analyzing them with my students as well, and yeah, they're very useful.
Yeah.
Like, who wouldn't want to see how Zest or Cure plays? Like Cure is one of the best Terrans in the world right now, and a show match from 2 weeks ago, we had 9 games of him showing how to play the best ZvT in the world, or one of the best, right? So it's perfect.
All right.
Okay, so we have Astrea going for a Stargate again. That feels obviously safe, right? I've seen people just go Stargate every single game.
Oh yeah.
And that's fine. Although I think a Protoss should mix it up a little bit from time to time. You want to keep Zerg guessing. Sometimes, if Zerg has no information of what's going on, then we are forced to make some choices in a build that we don't like, right? So, for example, against Stargate, a lot of people tend to delay their lair. But if I don't know it's Stargate coming or not, then I have to get lair very quickly in order to have overseers against BTs, for example, right? So this is usually hiding in information for Protoss is of value, I would say.
Yeah, we do see the first Oracle coming in. Let's see how many drones he can get. Ooh, almost got the second one, but a little bit of a missed micro there. But does get one. Definitely not as much as he probably would have wanted to get.
Yeah, I agree. Although nowadays most of Zergs have gotten so good at defending oracles and stuff that killing anything above 2 workers with an oracle is a huge success, I would think.
Yeah, they've been really good with their defense with the queen and also the sport crawler timing. But the important thing for Astrea is to make sure he does not lose these oracles. Those are pretty much really important. They could serve as harass units, but also they could serve as defensive units if RagnaroK decides to go for an all-out speedling attack. But it looks like it's Astrea that's going out for the, I guess, a semi. Yeah, pretty much a deja vu build from last game.
Yeah. It seems like it's exactly the same build like last time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's a solid build, I would say. You force out quite a bit of units from Zerg, even though, yes, those are only Zerglings, which are not expensive. They are very larva expensive, right? So those could have been even 13 more drones, right? Obviously, you still need some links, but right now those links are not really that useful unless you just go into link-based composition. So to some extent, you could say you're forcing a heavy link composition out of Zerg, and I'm not sure if that's good or not. Honestly, I think Zerg link compositions are pretty solid, especially Hydra Bane, right? Although that eliminates or just makes it more awkward to go Roach Ravager Swarmhost or Lurkers and stuff like that. But it seems RagnaroK doesn't care, and he still might go Swarmhosts. It looks like it, right?
Oh, he did get the infestation pit, so he can definitely. Yep, there we go. 6 Swarmhosts on the production tab, so he is gonna go for the Swarmhost route. So a little bit of a change up compared to last game where he did actually go for Hydralisk instead.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it seems like he tried one style, with Mutas and then into Hydras, and it didn't work out. So he's gonna try the other one, and that's completely valid way to play, right? You want to test what is your opponent weak against, and I think Astrea tends to get slightly late storm, and I've seen yesterday Mana's games against against Vanya, I think, and the way Mana was holding Locust waves with Storm was very, very impressive. So it seems like Storm could be a decent answer. However, I also have seen some Astrea games, and he seems to just move out to intercept the Nidus, and that's also extremely good. That's probably even better way to deal with them. Let's see.
Oh, the first wave of Swarmhost does go on top of the army, but a nice retreat there by Astrea. He did catch this out in the open, so it allows him to actually waste some of the time off of those locusts. And now he's gonna get on top of the swarm. Oh no, the Nidus just comes up in time. But these 2 poor queens will probably see the end of the days. Actually, might actually survive.
Yeah, they're trying to get to the other Nidus. This Roach push at the left side is giving a little problems to Astrea, but in the end, this is just a donation of Roaches. And now let's see. So the first wave was extremely successful for Astrea. Let's see whether the second wave is also gonna be this good. It seems it might not be. It might snipe. Even if he snipes the Nexus, that's very tough for Protoss. So it's usually very important for the first 2 waves to do nothing. And now he managed to kill a Nexus and also Twilight Council. I guess Twilight doesn't matter right now, but losing a Nexus is a very big deal, and the damage has been taken by Astrea. And so even though he managed to defend the first wave, which grants him, you know, some freedom, losing the Nexus to the second wave is not good.
Yeah, once you get damage from the initial few waves, it can definitely snowball for the Zerg player. So it's going to be up to Astrea to stabilize. He does get a decent disruptor hit, but I don't know. This army looks quite small compared to RagnaroK's. Ragnarok does have a 130 supply to about 90 army supply of Astrea, and look at all those Swarmhosts and Corrosive Biles. Nice force field though. Does catch a bit of Ravagers and Roaches, but it looks like Ragnarok will retreat for the meantime and wait for his Swarmhost to recharge his Locust.
Yeah, so Astrea is kind of holding, but is kind of struggling, right? He just rebuilt the Nexus, and that's very long time, and he's trying to build up more Disruptors, which is gonna be good, but Disruptors seem to be great against Roach Ravager Link, yes, but are they good against Locust? I'm not sure, so it seems kind of like Astrea doesn't really have that good counters to Locust, so those waves will most likely keep dealing damage over and over again. Let's see this one. If he manages to snipe the Nexus, it's gonna be deep trouble for Astrea. That's very, very close.
So close! Oh my god! 10 health on that Nexus. Oh man, what a clutch. Oh, but look at the natural. Oh my god, 1920 probes going down. Jesus.
Yeah, that run by was very, very painful. It seems like Astrea is slightly getting torn apart by the links and everything. So he decides to go for one dramatic push on creep, and usually these things don't work, you know? Let's see. I mean, this is still very scary army. There's 3 Disruptors, 3 Immortals. Maybe not very scary, but quite scary. And the good part about this is that he forced Locusts on the side of the map of Zerg, but at the cost of 2 Disruptors. Was it worth it? I would say yes, because he manages to stabilize at home. But so he's leaving. But what kind of life is this?
Yeah, this is just quite the pitiful army. Just on the first glance, but looks like Astrea is going to try to make this work. He is down by quite a large amount of workers, so he definitely needs to make this attack count. Nice dodge on those Corrosive Biles, but he does have only 2 Disruptors, and the Locust Waves are coming down on top of the army. Astrea needs to retreat for now. Wait for the Locust cooldown to dissipate.
Yep. Whenever there is just Locust flying close to your army, just run away. Okay, this was decent damage from the Locust. Now it's Banelings. And I think Astrea is feeling this. Although, I mean, he managed to make the Zerg army significantly smaller, but there's still the Locusts, they still are on cooldown, but they are gonna come soon. So I think this is looking, yeah, okay, GG.
Alright, nice little play there by RagnaroK. Will even the series 1-1. And now it is Astrea's turn to choose the next map. And again, this is a best of 9. First player to 5 wins will win the series and get the majority of the prize pool. Total prize pool is $125 plus Matcherino codes as well. If you guys know or see in the chat, the Nightbot has provided a Matcherino link, and you can actually head on over there, enter the coupon code AXCOM29, which adds 50 cents for free, and it will definitely help out the players for sure.
Yes, indeed. It's just a couple of clicks. Although, I mean, he managed to, and you can get, you know, more money for these awesome players. So why not? Supporting the scene, right? For free. Okay, now we have Zen for Astrea as his pick. And Zen is... I've seen Astrea do wild things on this map. Walling off at the 3rd, you know? Stuff like that.
Well,
I wonder.
Well, to be fair, I mean, Astrea is a pretty wild player himself.
Yes, he is, and that's quite good. You know, like you want to invent your own strategies, at least to a certain degree, right? Especially when you're a pro, right? Like when you're a diamond, there's a high chance, you know, that someone invented something better. But as Astrea, you know, like you want to um, surprise. You can surprise your opponent. You can sometimes just figure out something that's plain good, and it's nice.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of SOS, where you play crazy styles, but somehow manage to make it work.
Yep. So in the top right corner, we have Korean Zerg playing as blue. That's Chivo RagnaroK.
And spawning at the bottom left, we have our red Protoss player. He has one of the best names in StarCraft 2, Max Angel. It is yours truly, Astrea.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, imagine having a name like that, Max Angel.
Yeah. Though Snood has pretty powerful also. He's Jens Asgard. So that's a
Ah,
kind of, you know, Nordic mythology stuff, and yeah, so Snood has pretty powerful name as well, I would say. It's
yeah.
kind of different type though, right, than Astrea. Okay, so as I said, Astrea is walling on the third base, and I wonder, is that even safe?
Well, he is definitely going to open a bit safer with 2 gateways instead of 1. So he's going to go for a non-traditional opening here with a... I mean, we definitely see the majority of Protoss go for gateway into gas into Nexus, but to go into 2 gates, this signals to me that he's going to probably go for maybe some adept harass, first 2 adepts. But instead, looks like he's actually making a Zealot, interestingly enough. Maybe he's going to actually add a Zealot with the 2 adepts behind it, which will definitely at least make sure that he does not die too early.
Yeah, so he seems to actually start 2 zealots right away, but he's supply blocked, it seems. Okay, now he gets yeah. So this is I don't know what to think about this. I think it's actually gonna go through the natural, so this is nice because the zealot has very low rush distance there, so it's actually it might do something. And then on top of that you have adept pressure behind this. RagnaroK hasn't started his speed for links yet. I think he might be banking gas to get Overlord speed. So it seems like the builds are lined up really well for Astrea because there's still going to be very long time until the speed for links. So and now he's abusing the mineral field in the wall in the on the ramp, which is really sick. And then but he's not microing each other. This could have been amazing, and losing that Zealot actually sucks. And I think it still can be good, but it could have been way better.
Oh, but he does let the Shade finish this, which will actually help deny some mining time from Ragnarok. As long as he doesn't lose these 2 adepts, he can actually join forces with the with his 3rd and 4th adepts. And I think at that point, that's going to be a bit more tougher to clean this up. But speed is almost done. He's got to be careful. Ooh, trying to barely save that adept. Will he? Does lose one of the adepts, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's important to note that this was pressure mostly off of basically one base. Yes, he's getting Oracle behind this, and yes, he's getting a Nexus, but by the time the Nexus finishes, it's gonna still be quite long time, right? It's still 40 seconds to go, and RagnaroK very happily drones up at 3 bases right now. Yes, he had to build a lot of links, but still, I think he's in a quite comfortable position. However, that's what I was talking about, the wildness of Astrea. Right now, he just decided to grab another Nexus. So he kind of just delays the second one, but he makes it up for with the quick third one. And so, well, let's see how it all plays out. But for now, they are on even worker count. But I think RagnaroK is supposed to shoot up in drone count very quickly. And but he was supply block right now, so it also slowed him down. Yeah, this kind of pressure just makes you forget to do some things sometimes because it's so unorthodox and so awkward to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, actually, you know what? This Australia did recently play in the ESL Open Cup number 2 on the Korea region against Solar in the finals, and he it was in the same map here, and he went for a crazy build where he actually went for his fourth base before the Zerk went for his own fourth base. It was pretty crazy. It was the ace match too. It was like for the champion or for the win. It was like 2-2 score. It was a best of 5. And he took that incredible risk. Unfortunately, was not able to pull it out. Just barely lost the series 2-3. But that shows the kind of the gall of Australia to go for crazy strategies such as these.
Okay, so it seems we have a second Stargate, so this could be just a Skytos. And Skytos is quite good on this map because you have essentially three bases. And on top of that, it's also Skydos in this patch seems to be quite good as well. So right now, I think so. It's very interesting choice, and I'm very curious to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of airspace behind the main base as well as the third base. You can go in and out between that, especially. So air tech is definitely a kind of a smart choice for Australia to go for, and actually will deny this fourth base. So nice for him.
Yeah. Denying a fourth base is pretty critical right now because this 3-base Zerg against 3-base Protoss, right? And against Skytos, having more bases than Protoss is even more important than against normal Protoss, right? So because Skytos is generally so cost effective that you really need that gas going and then more bases and everything. I wonder if RagnaroK is even aware of what's going on. I don't think so. Although he saw the 2 Void Rays, which is already kind of suspicious, he also might see that Astrea is chrono boosting Cybernetics core. So I think he might get an idea of what's going on soon. The question is, how is he gonna react? Because Hydras, they are quite okay, but they are not amazing. Oh, there's Nidus on the way. So it seems he doesn't really want to go into late game, and he might just want to kill Astrea very quickly. And this could work. Depends on whether Astrea realizes what's going on, whether he's gonna put a lot of cannons in the wall and stuff like that. But I would say this is probably one of the strongest responses for Zerg to do, and it's also the easiest one because playing against Skytos in late game is just very difficult.
Yeah, the first initial carries aren't out quite yet. The shield batteries and cannons are also late, so it's going to be up to Australia to try to prolong this attack as much as possible before his carriers arrive. And he's going to rely on those force fields, but that is quite a large amount of Hydras and even some additional queens to go with it.
Yes, it's very scary, and those queens are actually absolutely critical here because they are also able to transfuse the Hydras. And they're very good at tanking because they are not either armored or they are not light. So basically, nothing really damages them too much, right? Like they are especially good against Void Rays. But it seems like Astrea is struggling, but he's kind of surviving this. Yeah. But also RagnaroK is doing sick thing, which is building spores at the side of the opponent, and that's very scary because spores are probably the best thing you can do right now against carriers at this point in the game.
Yeah, I mean, he just barely holds enough or hold long enough for those shield batteries and cannons, but look at those shield batteries. A lot of their energy has been drained already, and there's still a lot of Hydralisks and a lot of Spore Crawlers still on the way. The additional Spore Crawlers has finished, moves up, and oh boy, it's looking quite scary for Australia to hold this.
Yes, and the biggest problem is that he simply doesn't have interceptors. So anytime he builds some, then they die. And the key to make carriers good is to use them well is to have that critical mass of interceptors where you just kill everything almost, right? And he's not gonna get there. He's for sure he lost his third base, so his economy is not really too good. But he's holding on. I don't think he's looking good. But maybe there is a very tiny chance he still might hold this. Hydras are very squishy. Okay, GG. He didn't hold it.
Yeah, that's quite tough. I mean, maybe if you had like 6, 8, maybe even 10 carriers, I mean, the more carriers you have, the much easier it gets. But when you have as little as 2, 3, or 4, which he had at the time, it's just tough because you don't have as much interceptors, and you can actually RagnaroK can actually focus fire the Hydralisk on the carrier, so or even just the interceptors alone. So yeah, just great counterattack by RagnaroK. Did identify the Sky Tech with the Void Rays, and now Astrea, or actually at least RagnaroK, will head into game number 4 with a 2-1 lead. All right, thank you, Gangnaru 1994 for the follow. Appreciate it. It was a while ago, 17 minutes ago, but hopefully you're still around.
Yeah, this game, it was just very sharp timing from RagnaroK, right? So, and the thing is, Astrea didn't even realize this is happening until it was happening, pretty much, right? So that's the biggest problem, because otherwise he would be able to build cannons much sooner, shield batteries much sooner. He would have more of them and maybe a critical mass of cannons and stuff like that. But he didn't manage to, right? So that was one of the biggest problems there, I think. That when you scout this, it's very difficult, but it's stoppable. But if you don't scout this, it's pretty much usually over. As with any kind of timing attack, quite often in general.
Yeah. All right, let's get ahead into this game here.
Yep. So at the top left side of Triton, we have Blue Zerg, Chivo, RagnaroK.
And spawning at the bottom right, we have our Protoss player, the red Protoss from Alpha X. It is Astrea.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so we've got 2-1 for RagnaroK. I would say it's going quite as expected, right? Astrea is doing pretty well, I would say, but there are, RagnaroK is really recently. I think he's one of the better Zergs in Korea. Obviously, I would say Rogue, maybe Solar, maybe Dark, obviously are better than him, but he's like this strong tier 2 Zerg that you cannot just easily beat, So this is like, I think it's the fact that Astrea has won a game. I think it's generally solid result, and well, let's see what kind of result is he gonna get in the end.
Yeah, I would say both players actually has had a really nice momentum in 2019. They had some nice, good, solid wins, and I feel like both of them are continuing that momentum here in 2020.
Yes, I think Astrea also had pretty insane results, even like 2-3 months ago, or even a month ago, right? Like I've seen him beating, like top Korean pros left and right, So
Yeah, he actually won a Alpha Pro series against Zest. He also, in the recent tournament, he beat Special, and then also, like I mentioned earlier, he nearly beat Solar in the ESL Open Cup, in the ESL Open Cup finals. So definitely had some really good results as of late for Astrea. But RagnaroK himself as well has some nice wins. I think these players are showing their skills here, at least in the first 3 games thus far. And it looks like Astrea is going for once again that Stargate play.
yes, but this time he's getting a Stalker, so that's interesting. He seems to want to deny scouting, and he might want to make RagnaroK think that this is some kind of maybe DT build or something else, right? Like, so this is even Stalker first, right? This is not even an Adept. So let's see. And this is also Oracle first. So this is build trying to base. This build is by itself is not that super powerful, because, for example, normally Adept forces a bit more links, and you want to rather get Phoenix first. But since RagnaroK is not going for overload speed, and RagnaroK doesn't really even know what's going on, this or a random oracle could kill a lot, for example, right? Like he might not have a spore. Oh, now he is he's. I think he sees the oracle. Yes, right now. So I think he's gonna have queens in position. That spore might be too late in the main base, but I think he's gonna be fine. Yeah, yeah. He sees the way the oracle is coming, so I think he's in super good shape.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved Austria to actually not fly his oracle through the middle, through the watchtower especially. I think that gives RagnaroK some time to prepare the defense. Now it looks like Australia won't actually get much. Oh, actually, you know, in the natural, the queens have moved out of position. So this is going to allow Australia to get at least 4 5s. Oh, he's actually committed to it. He's going to lose the oracle. It does get 6 drone kills. Do you think this was worth it?
I think so. I think so because right now, as I said, in current metagame and current skill, Oracle is not supposed to get more than 2 kills for free, kinda, right? So yes, he actually lost it, but 6 kills is pretty reasonable damage. Pretty reasonable, I would say. I think he's rather happy about this. For a moment, he even had more workers than the Zerg. Now the question is, what's the timing of his third? And for example, right now, obviously RagnaroK would like to just drone up and then get links, but right now he might be forced to get more links at the expense of his drone count because of that adept move out, and also because of that the warp is coming his way. So he's not able to re-drone so easily and so happily, which makes it quite good for Astrea because right now his economy is not that far behind.
Alright, Warpism does arrive across the map. Will warp in some High Templars for those Archons. He's going to actually group them up with a double prong attack, it looks like, with the Adept going into the natural base, while the Archons goes into the third base. So we'll see how RagnaroK handles this.
Yeah, this is looking really good. Like this is such an interesting attack. Oh, for Astrea, because he attacked in 3 locations at once. He threatened with the Oracle, he threatened with Adept, and then went in with Archons. Unfortunately, this is so ambitious that he didn't manage to control all of it perfectly, and he lost the War Prism. And that's very, very painful because Archons without War Prism are essentially useless at the side of the map of Zerg.
Yeah, so nice defense there by RagnaroK, and unfortunately the recall went to the natural base with the Archon. So I mean their fat booty will have to use a War Prism to transfer over, or actually snipe down a gateway to exit out. Unfortunately for them, they didn't go to one of our sponsors, 24-hour fitness, to get fit. So now they're a bit overweight, so they can't really fit through.
This is good. Yeah, this might be such a pain, right? Like you can't move your unit where you want. Unfortunately, Zergs don't have that problem. But I heard that this is one of the reasons why dropping Protoss is good. So I for a long time I was not such a huge fan of dropping Protoss with dropper alerts and stuff. But someone told me that the biggest problem is that you cannot just move freely Archons around, and it taxes APM of Protoss really a lot. So that was one of the reasons why I started dropping Protoss quite a bit, and I think it's actually very powerful tool.
Ooh, okay, looks like Australia will be attacking right when the Mulist actually comes out. We'll see if the Mulist go for a counterattack, or it goes and try to snipe down some Archons or the War Prism itself. But that is one Archon going down. Oh, War Prism definitely going down. And that means no more reinforcement for Australia. And unfortunately, his army is going to get completely obliterated. Some nice harass here at the third with some charge lot, but I'm not sure if that is quite worth it.
Yeah, trading entire army for 11 workers and a couple of roaches and mutas doesn't seem like a great trade. However, when you look at the unit stab, you will see that Protoss has 65 probes and Zerg has 60 drones. So if he stabilizes right now and takes no damage whatsoever from mutas, he might be in a decent shape soon. but especially since RagnaroK's army is not really that great. But let's see how it's gonna go. He doesn't even have cannons, but he's going for phoenixes. So I think he's gonna be fine. And this might be so. I think he's in slightly worse shape than in game one, but I would say he is in quite okay spot probably.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of scared for Astrea if Ragnarok decided to counterattack because his army supply was quite high. But it looks like Ragnarok has decided not to go for the counterattack. And this is going to allow Astrea to kind of climb back into the game as the worker count are pretty even. Although, as I say that, Ragnarok did produce a few more drones. So he is decently ahead. Looks like Astrea is going to go for what might look like a weird attack.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm fan of this. This is a moment where Protoss is supposed to defend, not attack, I think, and he gets punished for it pretty much right there. Right? Zealots are not that great against Roach Ravager. I think that better decision would be just to stay back.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, he knew that his first big attack didn't quite do as much damage. There was still a lot of roaches left over. So very curious why he decided to attack. I think he possibly could have stabilized if he just defended and go into the macro game and see what happens. But unfortunately for him, he will go down 1-3 against RagnaroK. And we'll see if he can pull it back here in game number 5.
Yep. So we got 3-1 for RagnaroK. And Astrea is choosing map right now. Yep, let's see what he chooses. Simulacrum. Okay.
Alright, Simulacrum.
Yep.
By the way, guys, if you haven't done so yet, before this next game goes on, there is a Match Arena page set up. You can type in the exclamation Match Arena to pull up the URL, and then they will also show the coupon code where you can donate 50 cents for free to the overall prize pool. You don't have to pay a cent. Just go ahead into the Match Arena link and type in the code and contribute to the overall prize pool.
Yep. Okay, go. Terran. Protoss, okay. Astrea was a Terran for a second, but Ragnarok was kind enough to tell him to switch races. Yeah, Simulacrum seems to be kind of nice map in general. I think it's quite easy to get 3 bases for Protoss. It's very hard to attack into Protoss on 3 bases. Once you kill the rocks, maybe it's easier. But it's quite difficult to take a 4th as Protoss, I would say. So it feels like a decently balanced map. I'm actually kinda I really like this map pool. I think it's maybe I'm Zergen biased, but I think it's maybe a bit better balanced than before. The previous one slightly favored Zerg, I guess, but this one seems to be a bit better in general.
Yeah, I remember when they first announced the map pool for this season. I think a lot of people were genuinely happy with it. I think a lot of people said that it was a lot more balanced compared to the previous season. So I think overall a lot of people were happy with it.
Yeah, it's one of the nicest map pools I think we ever had. So in the top left side, we have Blue Zerg playing for Team Chivo. That's RagnaroK.
And spawning here at the bottom right is the red Protoss, looking to climb back and have one step closer to tying up the series. It is Astrea.
Yeah, the question is Astrea able to come back here? What do you think?
You know what? I feel like the I guess the game on what was it? The one where the I'm blanking on map name? The one with the
Triton?
dirt base. Oh, where he took the dirt base first.
Zen?
Yeah. I
Oh,
think.
Eternal Empire?
Yeah. Internal Empire. I think that was kind
Yeah.
of an outlier. I don't think that. I think it was just based on the map. So I don't hold that too much against Austria. And I feel like he has decent chance. I mean, last game was pretty much a I think RagnaroK was just overall ahead throughout the whole game. So that was probably the game where it was like all RagnaroK. I feel like throughout the whole series, it's been pretty even with the exception of you know the game on Internal Empire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, and maybe no. Because on the other hand, I mean, I think RagnaroK is making some mistakes, but it seems to me like Astrea is playing slightly sloppy here and there, right? For example, losing that War Prism, making the decision to all in so many times on Triton, right? So even though I would say I agree with you when we talk about previous games, like the first one was really impressive from Astrea, and the second one was also kind of good. Which one was the second one? I don't remember, but still, the initial games were pretty solid, I think. But the third one, the one on Triton, I'm not a huge fan of Astrea's performance there. So the question is whether was it just a fluke, or is he gonna play like this further? Because if he does, I don't think RagnaroK is gonna let him win even more maps.
Yeah, I mean, I do see that Austria did not quite micro the best. I think if he microed just a little bit better, possibly things could have been a bit different. So we'll see if he can bounce back. He's definitely going for the same build once again. So he feels pretty comfortable with it. We'll see if later on in future games, if he decides to change it up. But so far, it looks like RagnaroK got a good read on it. I think once you see the additional adept and then a second gateway wall off, that kind of signals that is definitely airplay, especially with the Phoenix sniping at the Overlord. But yeah, it looks like pretty much a standard opening from both players.
Yeah, and it seemed, I would say, actually, Stargate is going really well for Astrea, right? The way he countered Mutas in every game so far, I think, was actually amazing. There was no problems. Mutas didn't really do anything in most of the games, which is a very good sign, I think, because most of the time they actually deal quite a lot of damage. Like, I've seen easily losing 20 Protoss losing 20 workers to like 7 mutas or 8 mutas or something, right? So that's nice. But well, let's see if that's enough, right? So here we have pressure. That's 3 workers. Attacking into Spore and 2 Queens is quite difficult. So 3 workers is still, I would say, a reasonable result.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think Astrea is getting a nice little start here. And he's going to actually follow up with once again the kind of the few adept harass. Again, it's not all in. It doesn't have glaze upgrade or anything, but it's just to force. I feel like it's just force RagnaroK to produce some units instead of drones, and it's working so far because the worker count is even.
Yes, I think Astrea is generally pretty happy how this game is going right now. The question is what's going to happen further, right? Because until this point, Astrea is generally doing really well. The question is, how is he going to react to Mutas? Is it going to be Swarm Hosts, for example, with Roach Ravager and stuff like that? Okay, it seems we have Hydra then right there. So it seems RagnaroK is electing to play kinda standard. And let's see what Astrea is up to. He seems to be getting gateways. No Templar Archives just yet. Kinda just standard game so far. It might be the most standard so far, which is definitely interesting. We want to see how these players play their late game as well.
Yeah, I feel like this map is pretty big and wide open, so these lanes can actually run around, so that favors RagnaroK. But at the same time, this map doesn't have a lot of I guess a vision. There's no like watchtower, so you gotta rely on your overlords. But with the Phoenix opening from Astrea, he's kind of denied overlord scouting and vision, so that can help Astrea later on if he decides to go for maybe some counter attack, some zealot counter attack, or a warp prism drop. I think that will definitely favor Astrea since there is quite a limited amount of vision thus far. Ragnarok is spreading those creep tumors, so I think later in the game he will definitely have a lot more vision, but at the meantime, thus far, there's not a lot.
Yep, definitely. And right now they are again on the same worker count, and it seems RagnaroK. The question is, what is RagnaroK up to right now? Is he planning to attack with it, or is he just gonna drone up once the fourth is finished? That's very curious because I don't know if he has opening to attack right now. Like, this is just 66 drones. If you want to be aggressive at this point, you kinda want to go for something like 55, and 66 attacks. They are not that good because Protoss usually has decent number of immortals, maybe even Storm available, most likely Storm available. So this is not. I'm not sure what RagnaroK is really up to.
Well, looks like he is preparing for an attack. I think he might prepare for it. Oh, actually, he's preparing for a big major drop. Ooh, if this does not get scouted, that might cause some trouble for Astrea. But he does have some nice. Look at that nice split there. As I was just saying earlier, the vision of Ragnarok was not quite good, but now it looks like he's actually spread his overlord. But also Astrea himself has spread some units to get some good vision, and he is splitting his army to help defend against this.
Yeah, there was an adept at the 5th base of Astrea spotting for that drop, so it allowed him to prepare for this attack. And let's see, is he gonna be able to achieve a lot? This is actually very scary attack, I would say, because yes, Protoss army is very strong right now, but it's only good when it's one big ball. And since he forced him to split the army a lot, if you have like 2 Immortals and 2 Archons, Roach Hydra is actually very strong against this. So I think RagnaroK is doing quite well. He managed to cancel the 4th base, but it's not enough. He hasn't killed Astrea, so he needs to do something behind this, and he is. He is banking money to get a bunch of Lurkers. And I think there might be a little problem to hold Lurkers as a second wave of the attack.
Oh, I think Ragnarok caught Astrea with his pants down, and looks like the swarm is moving in. Although there are some additional reinforcements, so he will back off in the meantime. But he got the damage he wanted. He got the cancel on the 4th, even sniped down some gateways, and he is pretty much in control at this point.
Yes, however, the economy of Astrea has been largely untouched, and also his immortal count hasn't been reduced too much. I think he lost maybe 1 or 2 immortals. So he's struggling to gather nice number of storms, yes, but in general his army is still quite high quality, right? So and for Zerg it's mostly 23 roaches even, so it's not really that impressive. So now the question is, what is gonna happen soon? Whether RagnaroK decides to go for Hive and just camp and go into super good lurkers, or is he gonna be fine with these kinda okay lurkers right now and push now? I think he's going to play rather a bit more passive, which I'm not sure if it's such a good idea, because Astrea was at 130 supply by the time RagnaroK was maxed out, so maybe there was some opportunity to deal damage here and there.
All right, some nice cancel there on the hatchery by Astrea. Though he's got to be careful because that warp prism is pretty much his only way of harassing the Zerg. And now he's just reestablishing his 4th, rebuilding his army, getting some more Archons, and it looks like he's gonna go for an attack. I'm not sure if this is the best timing. There are quite amount of lurkers. Actually, there's a total of 8, and there's additional lurkers being morphed in as well, 7 indeed. So we'll see if Astrea can get some damage done, but RagnaroK, I think he should be fine with the amount of lurkers he has.
Definitely. The question is, what is Astrea gonna do? Is it just poking here and there to be annoying and maybe pick off something roaming here and there? Then if that's the idea, I'm all for it, right? But if he's planning to go for a full frontal attack against lurkers, I don't think that's a good idea. I think, especially with all these ramps and everything, lurkers are just gonna crush the army. But it's difficult to reposition lurkers like this. You know, like he's trying to push left and right, and now he picks off a couple of hydras for free, and he's perfectly happy about this. This slows down, you know, potential maybe even broodlord switch for us for RagnaroK. So he's generally, I think, content with just sitting out on the map, and maybe he would want probably also maybe trying to take out the 5th base or delay it at least. But so far I think he's making a good choice not to engage, and now the question is, what is he gonna switch to? I literally talked about this with Astrea a couple of minutes before we started. He decides to go for Skytos, I think, which is, I think, a great choice right there.
Yeah, a little bit of a mismicro there by Australia. Does lose a few Oracles, a few High Templars. But the thing I do like about Australia is he's on the aggression. He's keeping the Lurkers at the Zerg side of the base instead of on the Protoss side of the base. So I like the pressure that he's putting, and actually might actually get this snipe, which he does. So a little bit of a win there. And so far he's having RagnaroK preoccupied while he's building up their air tech. His Stargate is up and running. I think he should start carriers soon. It looks like he...
Yeah. This is excellent play from Astrea right now, I think, because lurkers are very scary when they siege up at your base, right? Because you have no choice, but you have to fight them. But if they siege up at his base, you know, RagnaroK's, then all you need to do is simply just move back, and you run away from the range of lurkers, and you're fine, right? So I think there's even a chance he might snipe the 5th base again.
Oh yeah, that would be definitely a good win there.
Too scary.
Oh,
Jesus. That was some serious damage.
Aye.
Okay, that was slight overextension, but you know, to some extent, he's simply just making a room in his army to get carriers, I think. And RagnaroK, I don't think he's expecting this whatsoever. He has no Spire, no Vipers, so he's pretty vulnerable. So Astrea is definitely vulnerable right now, and he needs to track this army and not get surprised. But I think once he completes the switch, I think he's gonna be in a very, very good spot. Like once he has something like, let's say, 6 carriers, I don't think this Hydra Lurker army is enough.
Yeah. Now the thing is, RagnaroK has not seen the carrier tech, so if he can keep the carrier tech hidden long enough, I think that could catch RagnaroK off surprise. And I like this. Look at all the Zealot counterattack. It's just basically harassing them. Getting 23 drones in the meantime. That is going to lower RagnaroK's worker count to 62. And might actually possibly get this hatchery once again. And he does.
Oh my god. Right now, RagnaroK is definitely in deep trouble because he's left with essentially 3 bases mining. 3.5, I guess, against 4 bases of Astrea. So I think... well, he has kind of nice bank, I guess, right? And he's denying the 5th base of Astrea, but I would say he's still... Astrea seems to be in really good position. However, there's 5 Vipers right now, right? So the question is, what's gonna happen? Whether is he gonna manage to land the feedbacks, or is he gonna get everything abducted? That's the big question for Astrea, and well, we'll find out soon. But right now, from economy perspective, I think the game is looking good for Astrea, and as long as he doesn't mess up his micro there and he makes the correct moves, I would say this is a good moment to be. This is a good place to be as a Protoss.
Yeah, I think his little army out there is a bit vulnerable. He doesn't have it grouped up with the carrier, so it's a bit scary. Oh, just gotta back off. Gotta be careful with that.
Watch out! Don't get your mothership abducted, and he didn't. He managed to land every single feedback except one, which is a huge deal, because right now with the economy of RagnaroK, he doesn't even have that much time to just play the game. He has to kill Astrea now, I think, and if he doesn't, he's gonna get critical mass of carriers, and touching this is very, very difficult.
Yeah, compared to the game on Eternal Empire, he had only 4 carriers. This time around, It's going to have a lot more. It currently has 6 and additional carries on the way with the air upgrades as well. And Astrea, he's maxed. He is looking to get some damage done, but he's still got to be careful because the Vipers has recharged their energy. There's still a lot of lurkers underneath. And
yes, this is still very definitely a fight that Astrea can lose, but I would say this is looking better and better for him, right? So let's see how he's gonna behave. You know, like is he gonna lose all his high tempo bursts to lurkers, for example, right? Is he continue to gonna manage to land all these amazing feedbacks, right? So those are very key questions. So these armies are just so difficult to control for both of these players. So let's see how it's gonna go. But I would say this is a position where I would favor Protoss a tiny bit more, I think.
yeah, I love how he's getting all the bases. Pretty much his half side of the map is pretty much taken thus far. He's trying to get some small damage done with this carrier army, but he does also have a little charge lot army at the bottom if he wants to do a little bit of a run by.
Yes, he's keeping Zerg at very low base count, which is going to get reflected in the bank very soon. RagnaroK already struggles quite big time with his mineral bank. His gas bank is very healthy, but on the other hand, yes, if he doesn't get on our base, his minerals are gonna continue to be low, and it might be a problem for him. While Astrea is essentially getting entire map and entire half of his map. And now the biggest question is, what about this base that RagnaroK is building? If Astrea manages to continue to deny it, he's gonna be in great shape, but he cannot allow RagnaroK to take it so easy right now.
Oh, gotta be careful. Astrea does lose a few high Templars. He only has 3, and 2 of them doesn't have much energy actually. So Astrea, he might actually want to retreat a bit, get some high Templars, recharge their energy. But oh no, it looks like Astrea is gonna go for it. He feels like he got enough carriers, and possibly he does, but there are still a lot of Hydralisks. There's only 3 Corruptors, so oh, nice blinding cloud there. Sorry, not blinding cloud. Wait, is that blinding cloud? No, that's not blinding cloud.
It was parasitic bomb.
Yeah, parasitic bomb. And oh man, this is just proving to be too much carriers. I think Astrea got it.
Yeah, I think he's playing excellent game. I think I think he outplayed him in macro game. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, that was a nice 20-minute game there by Astrea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just literally did all the things that Protoss is supposed to do, and when that happens, you quite often win.
Yep.
So that's the thing, right? Like Protoss has such a good late game, and so many Protosses just decide to all in, and I kind of just don't understand this decision quite often, right? Like, if I was playing Protoss, most of my games would probably be trying to get to the spot that Astrea was in.
Yeah, and I love how Astrea, again, that map is huge, so with RagnaroK having so much lurkers, Astrea keeping up the pressure, making sure that the lurkers aren't harassing him, aren't attacking him on his side of the base. I just love I feel like that is probably the better way to play PvZ against mass lurkers. Just buy your time, get enough air, get enough carriers, and just keep expanding as well, and just keep up the pressure on the Zerg, as well as do maybe some Warp Prism harass or some charge lot run bys to attack. And I think, yeah, I love how Astrea played that.
Yeah, me too. Okay, once again, buff room.
All right, so while everyone is taking a bathroom break, Matisse needed to use the bathroom, Astrea needs to use the bathroom. Love to give a shout out to some followers, some recent followers. Appreciate the follows from Coco Yo-Yo 11, as well as 727KHJ. Definitely appreciate your following, and yeah, it looks like we are heading towards that 1K follower on our Twitch, which definitely appreciate it. And also, speaking of appreciation, I think the players will definitely appreciate it if you guys head on over to the RagnaroK page. Let me go ahead and type this into the chat. There's going to be a 1 minute delay, so probably you'll probably see this a bit later, but there is the RagnaroK link as well as the coupon code where you can donate 50 cents for free. You don't need to pay out of pocket. Just head on over. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you the RagnaroK page. Let me go ahead and refresh that to see the updated prize pool. Looks like we have $16 of coupon code thus far. So go. You can head on over to RagnaroK. There's a sign in button here. You can sign in with your Battle.net, your Facebook, your Google, your YouTube, your Twitch, your Twitter, your Discord, your Microsoft account. And once you sign in, you can click on the contribute button, enter the coupon code. There's going to be a contribute button, and you click on the contribute button, and that's all. That's all you need to do. It's pretty easy, pretty quick. And yeah, it looks like Astrea is back. Nice.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Let's see if RagnaroK is ready. And then if once RagnaroK confirms he's ready, we'll start game number 6. Again, the score, as you see on the screen, is 3-2. It is a best of 9, so plenty of games for Astrea to come back and win. But let's see if RagnaroK has something to say about that. This is going to be Nightshade, which will be RagnaroK's map of choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is quite open map. I mean, there's a lot of ramps in the middle, right? But these bases are slightly difficult to take, I think, as Protoss. The fourth one is so out on the map. The third one has some quite big openings there, right? So there's the ramp to the natural, right? So that's nice. But still, I would say this is probably quite nice Zerg map. It's also very, very big, and Zerg quite often is happy about this.
For sure. All right, let's go ahead and introduce our players.
Yep, so in the bottom right corner, we have Blue Zerg from Team Chivo. That's RagnaroK.
And spawning at the top left, we have our red Protoss player looking to tie up the series. Can he do it? It is Astrea.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think I did. The previous game was amazing, and I want to see more of it. You know, I think RagnaroK is gonna realize that's the possibility at some point to go carry that Protoss can go carriers, and let's see how he's gonna adapt, right? Because if Astrea is gonna bring carriers again, RagnaroK needs to have sharper, better response, and I probably think he has. He was just significantly, quite surprised previous game that carriers happened. So if he's gonna be more prepared for that, he's gonna scout for them probably. So let's see if he's gonna maybe hit a very sharp timing before carriers are ready, or is he gonna maybe just transition into Lurker, Corruptor, Viper, which I heard is pretty good against carriers. So it's something that we still learn, because in this patch we don't know. Skytos used to be very, very strong for many years. Then last year we had Broodlord Infestor, which was kinda broken, right, and better than Skytos. And now we are not actually sure what's the place of Skytos right now, right? Is it good or not? I generally always think Skytos is good, but let's see, is it gonna be right now? The main counter of Skytos in the previous patch was Infested Terrans, I would say. So without them, it's suddenly much more difficult to beat Skytos. But I think a very well played Corruptor Viper is also fine against that.
Yeah, I feel like this is a kind of the time of the year, because of the removal of Infested Terran, that Zerg is still trying to find the best way to counter mass Skytos from against the Protoss. And I think we're slowly but surely getting there. I feel like the new upgrade from the Infestor, the microbio something. I forgot what the
Microbio shout.
Yeah.
Shout.
I feel like we haven't seen that utilized as much thus far. I mean, have you seen anyone use that upgrade or that spell?
I think someone just experimented here and there, and most of these experiments went pretty badly. So I'm not sure. I don't think they might be. In theory, I could see this work maybe against low number of carriers. Yes, but mainly the main problem with this spell is that Storm exists, right? So yes, you're gonna take less damage from carriers, and it's actually quite significantly reduced damage from carriers, and you can really feel it. But the problem is, yes, the only good ground unit that's anti-air is Hydras, and Hydras just die immediately to Storm, right? So yes, you're gonna survive against carriers, but you're gonna die to Storm, and so this kind of spell just doesn't solve the problem of Hydras generally being bad against Storm carrier.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they recently, or at least a while ago, they actually buffed the spell where they made the radius a bit bigger. But I'm just curious in the future if how that spell will be utilized, if it can work or not. Maybe Blizzard has to make additional changes to that spell, maybe even remove the spell and revert back to Infested Terran or something. I'm not sure.
Maybe, or actually, now that I'm thinking about this, maybe with new lurkers, maybe it's playable. You know, like when you have 25 lurkers or 20 lurkers with 10 range, and that protects your Hydras from the Storm, and then you protect your Hydras from the carriers with Microbial Shroud. I could see maybe that working, but that requires a lot of tests, and I'm not even sure if it's worth wasting time on that. Probably most of pros are surprisingly conservative, so they rather wait until someone proves that's doable, and then they will start doing this, right? So they wait until Serral suddenly comes out with it, and then they copy, but they don't really want to experiment that much with it themselves, because it takes up their very precious time for practice, right? And this could be a dead end anyway. So they rather prefer to just practice something safe, something solid. And Corruptor Viper is reasonably okay, I think. Not sure how good it is, but I've seen Lambo or Serral have quite good results with it. So it's hard to say, and I'm very curious to see.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Astrea right now has 4 oracles in the corner of the map, and he's trying to fly with them. There's gonna be 1 spore, but they could deal quite a lot of damage. Let's see.
All right, there are 2 queens though, so he should be better defense against that. Although the Phoenix can lift it up. Oh no, he's gonna bypass the dirt and go straight into the main, which does have only 1 queen there, but ooh, 2 spore callers. So Astrea is wondering which one to go for. Oh, the Phoenix does die. Yikes.
Yeah, this didn't work out at all. It seems to me like RagnaroK did see the 3rd oracle, and that means quite often it's fine to put up 2 spores per base. It was quite an investment. So yes, he lost the 4th oracle, and he didn't do much direct damage, but indirectly he forced out even 6 spores in total. So that's quite a lot. So this slowed down RagnaroK quite a bit as well. So RagnaroK is quite happy with how it went, but I wouldn't say this is some game-ending tragedy for Astrea. I would say maybe RagnaroK is just a tiny bit ahead.
Yeah, we do see a Overseer Scout by RagnaroK. Sees what's up. Should expect a Colossus transition, as he does got the Robotics Bay, or he does got the Robotics Bay, and it is upgrading. So most likely it's not Disruptors in his mind. Looks like RagnaroK gonna decide to go for Lurkers once again.
Yeah, I think Lurker Viper is by far the best counter to Colossus. So while Hydra Bane is pretty bad against Colossus, and this can be very, very strong for Protoss, but the transition into a Lurker Viper is very smooth out of this. So you just get a bit more Hydras, you morph them into Lurkers, and that's it pretty much. And then suddenly Colossus are pretty bad, especially when you manage to get a 10 range upgrade for Lurkers. So, and then you can also abduct the Colossus, they're gonna just die immediately. So I'm not a huge fan of this tech path for Protoss in general.
Yeah, we do see that the creep spread from RagnaroK is halfway there into Australia's side of the map. And that is going to definitely help in terms of the Ling Hydralis movement. Maybe getting some surround and during engagements. And both players looking to just macro up. They're getting additional bases. And they're just doing some small light harass there, not committing too much. And we see a nice revelation on these lurkers. But I don't expect Astrea to commit to this. Although RagnaroK, ooh, nice force fields.
Yeah, it's going really well for Astrea right now because the lurkers don't have the range upgrade yet. It's halfway done, and let's see if Astrea is transitioning into anything. He seems to be getting Templar Archives, so for abducts probably, but currently Colossi are outranging lurkers, so this is a nice timing. The problem is once lurkers start outranging Colossus, they're gonna be pretty worthless.
Oh, and the Vipers as well just popped out. Got some few energy left. Just gotta be careful. And make sure his Colossus survives. Oh!
Yeah, they look kind of funny when they fly like this, and it's definitely not a happy place to be as a Protoss. So I think a very good response here would be to have Templars ready by now, right? So you would be able to abduct Vipers and feedback Vipers, and you would be in fine spot. But right now, losing 3 Colossus is a big deal. And yes, he's going to Disruptors, which are pretty good against Lurkers, sure, but this is not ideal place to be. These 3 Colossus were very expensive, and all the good trades that Astrea managed to get, suddenly they are not really that good anymore.
Yeah, looks like Astrea will circumvent into the third of the Zerg base. Doing some additional stasis ward to help with this attack. We'll actually manage to snipe it, which is a really nice pick off there. But these lurkers. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, he might even manage to snipe another base, which would be pretty sick. Right now, wow, this fight was very good for RagnaroK, so he didn't manage to kill anything else, Astrea. But I think he is in sniping that base was pretty okay. However, he didn't manage to kill any drones right there. Right, so from economy perspective, again, Astrea is in pretty good shape. He has 4 bases against 4 bases, but is his tech any good right now?
Yeah, he's relying right now on Disruptor and some High Templar. His Storm is about to be done. He is getting some air weapons, so it looks like possibly he is transitioning into carrier soon, but he doesn't have the fleet beacon yet, so that's quite a mile away. And I don't see the carriers being produced anytime soon, and that's going to give RagnaroK the advantage because his army composition, his army quality is, I feel like, is a bit better than Astrea.
Definitely. However, Astrea has quite mobile army. You know, Stalkers are pretty quick. Disruptors are surprisingly quick. The problem with Lurkers is that they are, they have to burrow, reburrow, stuff like that.
Oh!
Big shots. So he seems to be equalizing the supply right now, which is good for Astrea because he wants to survive now. It's very important that he has enough time to transition into carriers, and any trade like this is amazing for Astrea because RagnaroK doesn't have that impressive economy. This is 4 base, 72 drones, that's not much. And I think Astrea is about to finish his 5th base. He's even managing to apply some pressure with Disruptors right now. So if he manages to complete his switch into carriers, I think he's gonna be in a really nice spot.
Oh yeah, especially this charge light run by. There's not much. There's a few spine crawlers, but not much at the bottom. I would say 6-7 o'clock position. But oh, actually, there's going to be a kind of a base trade scenario. There's other things looking a bit awkward.
Yeah, I think this is very good call because right now Astrea doesn't have an army that is capable of fighting against what RagnaroK has. So because he managed to do this this base trade, he is forcing RagnaroK back, and that's precisely what he needs. He needs to buy more time to get these carriers out, and the question is he gonna get that time? Unfortunately, he's losing a lot of bases, a lot of probes, so both of these players are soon gonna be kind of broke, And right now, I think he's gonna also lose his entire army, so it might be... Oh! These storms were pretty amazing, so there is still a chance for Astrea. Let's see how it's gonna play out.
I feel like he's forgetting about the bottom charge lot squad as he is focused on here at the natural of the Zerg base, but it pretty much gets cleaned up by all these lurkers. And he does get significant economic damage done. Actually, he is enjoying a 22 worker supply lead, or I guess 20 at this point. But he is going to go get some additional damage done here at the bottom base with these charge lot. All these spine claws and hydralisks get cleaned up, but the lurkers will come back in time to help defend against this. But the thing is, all this time he's been producing carriers, so we'll see if he has enough carriers in time. Because I feel like RagnaroK might go for a counterattack, or unless he just sits back and just try to re-macros back up. But
yeah, I think this was a big mistake to show that carrier, because right now RagnaroK is aware it's coming, and you don't want, like, the most scary carriers is the ones that you want to attack a Protoss, you're happy, you know, and then suddenly bam, 6 carriers, right? So this is the most scary stuff. And right now, this will, if I also RagnaroK, my instinct will be just go, 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 and let's attack them. Let's attack Protoss before they are ready, right? And 4 carriers, it's pretty abductable, and also it's not a critical mass to be 24 Hydras. So I think it's still looking good for RagnaroK.
yeah, I mean, the army supply is scary. I mean, 123 to 68. Astrea desperately need to buy some time with these High Templars and the Storm, but he's got to be careful. A lot of his High Templar doesn't have any more energy left. He's got to retreat back home, and he might possibly needs to sacrifice his base, although that would be devastating as his one true mining base, or full mining base. And here he goes. He needs one more Storm he got left. Is it going to be enough though?
Yeah, the thing about RagnaroK is that he has very low drone count, which means he has massive supply of army, right? So Astrea correctly recognizes he has to go back, and now he is trying to get a bit more Storm. There's still a small chance. This is 6 carriers, but this is still 30 Hydras, and 30 Hydras is very quite big number. So I think if he doesn't manage to land some magnificent Storms, he might be in trouble.
Yeah, the thing is that Astrea doesn't have any detection with his army. His oracles died. There's no observer with his army. He does desperately chrono boost out a observer. He needs something to attack those lurkers while attacking those hydras as well. But yeah, looking like the game has turned around as Astrea now is down in the worker count. Although I do like his upgrade lead. He does have +1 attack with +1 air attack, so maybe if he can build enough carriers, build enough High Templar with Storm, he can defend against this scary army of RagnaroK.
Yeah, but the problem is this is essentially pure carrier, and pure carrier is not that good in general. It's very good once you have... whoa, he's sniping, he's target firing all the Hydras, and he's barely killing them.
Oh,
He is killing them. But does he have money to replenish them? Oh, he's recalling. He's gonna lose 2 carriers, unfortunately, and that's from 6 it's gonna be 4. And I think that's it went really well, but not well enough. I think it was very close and could have went even better, but it seems like Astrea has just started to realize that he needs to target fire the Hydras. If he had done this in previous fights, it would maybe result in him overpowering RagnaroK right now. But I think for now this is looking super good for RagnaroK, and I don't think Astrea has a lot of chance right now.
yeah, maybe if RagnaroK, or maybe if Astrea had a 4th base up, and maybe if he saved a few of those 2 carriers, I think it would have probably been an even game. But now with the lost carriers, no 4th base, is quite looking dire for our Protoss friend. But the thing is, he is going to go for a counterattack, and I think this is probably his best move, because it's going to actually have the Zerg army retreat, and remember, the Protoss can recall. Oh wait, actually, you know what? He just recently recalled his carrier, so actually, never mind. This might actually be quite scary.
Yes, he still has half of time until the recall happens. And let's see, this is still going reasonably well for Astrea. If he manages to retreat right now, this gives him some chances, but the problem is the fourth base. He doesn't have a fourth base, and that fourth base is absolutely critical, and there's only one storm. So 4 carriers plus 1 storm doesn't beat all these Hydras, I think.
Oh man, Astrea's playing with fire. I think he needs to retreat like ASAP. Ooh, just barely
And
gets out there.
And he did. He abused the cliff there, and it's really saved him. But the problem is there is more and more Hydras coming, right? This is 29, so that's a number that already 6 carriers struggled with. And right now it's going to be only 4, so I think it's looking still very, very good for RagnaroK.
Yeah, unfortunately for Astrea, he couldn't keep up with his economy, so no more carriers in the production tab. He's got his only 4 carriers out in the map. So this is looking like a very, very small army, very vulnerable.
Yes. But, you know, if he manages to catch like 10 Hydras randomly like this, suddenly it might be quite good. So let's see. There is only 4 lurkers out on the map. The thing is, the 4th base is mining again. Not yet, but soon. And these minerals at the 4th base are just something that Astrea desperately needs. And that might, if he continues these, you know, pokes here and there, it suddenly might be kind of good for Astrea. I think it's still good for RagnaroK, but the last 2-3 minutes for Astrea were very, very good, and that's what keeps him in the game. But if right now he just retreats, tries to defend the 4th, and RagnaroK attacks it, it's gonna be pretty bad. What he wants to do is probably just counter-attack once the RagnaroK moves, once RagnaroK moves out. But he seems to want to defend, and that might be tough.
Oh man, nice storm going on the lurkers, but not quite enough. And he doesn't even clean up the Hydralisk with those storms as well. And that forces Astrea to pull the boys, which is not the greatest thing against lurkers. And yeah, desperate times call for desperate measure, but looks like RagnaroK will take game number 6 and go up 4-2 in this best of 9 series.
Yeah, this was a really nice game, I think. Maybe yeah, that the base rate situation cut Astrea's economy a little bit too much, and maybe he was a little slow to rebuild them and stuff like that. But in general, I would say it was quite an interesting game. Oh,
yep. Looks like
happened?
which map was left?
I don't know. Zen, you wanted to make Zen, so maybe Zen. I don't know. No. Astrea already went Zen before.
Yeah.
What about Eternal Empire?
We played that before.
We did.
Nightshade, Simulacrum. Is it World of Sleepers?
No, it was also played.
Wait, what?
Yeah, World of Sleepers we played for sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Zen. Okay, Zen was the one that we didn't play in, right? Yeah, Zen.
I think we played Zen, no?
Oh wait, I mean, I'm looking at the match history. Oh wait, no, we.
Astrea said go Zen, right?
Oh wait, Nightshade.
Triton.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, I'm gonna load up.
Nightshade. Oops. Did we play on Ephemeron? I don't think.
We did. Did we play? So,
Eternal
Nightshade,
Empire.
Eternal Empire. Are you sure we didn't play this?
Looks like from the replays we did not play an Eternal.
Yeah, we didn't play. Yeah. So it's Eternal, I think.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for the follow. We had a recent follow by Lenny the Rebel. Appreciate it. Looks like someone in the chat rallying for Astrea, looking for him to come back. He's gonna definitely need your support because he is down 4-2 in the ace match, or not ace match. He is RagnaroK is 1 game away from winning the whole series. So looks like Astrea will definitely need to go for a pretty much an all kill from this point
Yeah,
on.
coming back from 4-2 is difficult. You need to win 3 games and not lose anything. So that's you essentially need to win best of 5, 3-0. And that's a very, very tough task.
That's definitely a tall order, but
Yeah.
we'll see if he can do it.
So at the bottom side, bottom left side, Blue Zerg, Chivo, RagnaroK.
And spawning at the bottom, or not bottom, top right, we have our red Protoss from Alpha X. It is Astrea.
Yeah. I wonder what's gonna happen on this map. This is
You know what? Since he is down 4-2, you know what? I'm hoping for a. Oh wait, actually, as I say this, he does have the gas, so it's not going to be a cannon rush. I was secretly hoping for a cannon rush, but it looks like Astrea will play it safe. His basically his event. This event is on the line, so is a $125 prize pool. The winner does go home with 70% of the prize, while the loser does go home with 30%. So it's a nice chunk of change that these players want to go home with. And it's looking good so far for RagnaroK.
Yes, indeed. Actually, Parting managed to do a lot of win a lot of games in IEM Korean qualifier with Cannon Rush. So you know, he just built cannons at the bottom, at the third base at that cliff, and then he just elevates himself to the main. And I think that's pretty scary. It's stoppable, but it's just very, very difficult.
Yeah.
So mixing it in such a best of 9, which is pretty, I mean, tiring. This is already two hours of just playing all the time on highest level, right? So mixing it would be definitely a very high risk, but on the other hand, it could gain, you know, just one easy win. Why not?
Now we do see that both players taking a bit of risk. Australia going for a later scout, and RagnaroK going for a rather early third. It will be scouted out by this probe, so Australia will be up to him to decide whether he wants to macro up with RagnaroK or if he decides to try to punish that with some harass. Although he has been going for a Stargate play throughout the whole series, and that's exactly what he is gonna go for once again. We'll see if this time it works out for him compared to the other games.
Yeah, the third base for RagnaroK, I wouldn't call it particularly risky. This might be slightly scary against proxy 4-gate with Zealots, you know. That could maybe be slightly weak against this, but in general, I would say this is fine opening. I've seen Koreans do it all the time, and I think it's safe. I also like to play it. I'm a huge fan of such a fast third. You know, you want your larva, you want your creep. The sooner the third, the better, pretty much. So as long as it's not a huge gamble when you play 3 hatch before pool, I'm completely fine with the third that RagnaroK got there.
Yeah, there's not a lot that the Protoss has in the early game to punish the Zerg. So I mean, usually the Protoss will have to wait for the cybernetic core, wait for the tech, or wait for warp gate to finish. So Zerg can a lot of time definitely get away with going a faster dirt for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you know, so the only expense is delaying the speed a little bit, at least for Zerg, right? So you are slightly more vulnerable to stuff like one base, double gate chrono boosted adepts. But people have gotten so good at defending adepts that even this thing is not that scary. And Astrea seems to just try very fast third as a response, which is surprisingly also very risky, because even though RagnaroK went for very fast third, he still has the same tools available to him as if he was playing standard 2 base. So he has speed, he has a lot of larva, he could very easily right now build 25 links, and he would be able to deny the third most likely.
Alright, looks like Astrea is actually sneakily making a bunch of Phoenixes. I would have actually liked if he throw down a second Stargate, maybe go for double Stargate Phoenix, but it hasn't got scouted yet, so this might actually catch RagnaroK off guard. Let's see, how many Spore Colors does he have? He only has one in each base, so this could definitely get some damage done.
Yeah, I kind of like this build from Astrea. I think this is so he replaces the second Stargate with the faster third, which is great because you're not able to do you really need that many Phoenixes? I think 5 is a pretty nice number anyway. He could even build more if he wanted to, but this is kind of just this looks like kind of Heart of the Swarm Phoenixes into Colossus, or Phoenixes into something in this case, probably something random. I have no clue what Astrea is gonna go for after this, but the biggest part is that he got away with such fast third, and that's the most important part. So these Phoenixes are not really that important. The important part is that he managed to get a third unpunished, and that's a really good scenario. And also he kind of makes Mutas not viable right now, right? So those goals have been accomplished. So if he tries to so he's playing a macro game with kind of comfortable situation where he managed to get a fast third, and he removed possibility of Mutas. He is very happy right now.
Yeah, and I loved his Phoenix micro. He was able to save all the Phoenixes with some nice sweet micro, and these Phoenixes are gonna be a kind of annoying little thing that RagnaroK had to keep his eye on. But in the meantime, he is getting his 4th base. He is getting a Nidus actually, so he's gonna go look for some Nidus play with possibly 13 Swarmos in the production tab. This what do you think Austria's chances are in holding this?
It's hard to say. It depends whether he's gonna go for Colossus or is he gonna go for Disruptors. I think Disruptors are pretty bad in this situation against Locusts, but Colossus are surprisingly good against Locusts. So it depends how the first wave goes, whether he manages to not lose a Nexus or something, right? So if let's see, what is he building? Colossus. So I would say as long as he doesn't take damage right now from initial 2 waves, he's gonna be in very, very good position, and it's very tough to in this position to not take damage. So let's see. But the Phoenixes could actually deal nice damage to Locust. He now got Immortal sniping the Nidus, so I think he's actually doing reasonably fine.
Oh, a lot of the Phoenixes does take a majority, take down majority of the Locusts. We'll see if that's enough to take down the Nexus, and just barely. So
yeah, this was very close, but holding the Nexus right now was a massive deal. That's exactly what he needed. This allowed him to build 2 Colossus, and with 2 Colossus, his army is starting to get pretty scary, although he got caught out on the map right now. So he managed to, he had to waste a lot of force fields right now. Those Colossus still don't have range, I think, so they are not that great. But this is the only scenario in which I actually like Colossus. It's against Swarmos.
Oh, another Locust Swarm will go on. He does have still 2 Colossus left. Phoenix will come and help defend against this, but the nice blink back, and I think he should be able to hold it once again.
Yeah. So this is type of style that if only you survive one Locust wave, which you are very vulnerable to, then you are in pretty good spot. And right now RagnaroK doesn't have 2 good tools to deal with this situation, because he needs Lurkers or he needs Vipers in order to deal with Colossus, right? But he's playing on such low economy, he cannot really afford it, right? So and Phoenixes give him a lot of mobility as well. This looks like a clearly anti-Swarm Host Nidus build to some extent.
Yeah, things are looking quite good for Astrea thus far. He's getting his 3rd and 4th Colossus, which will definitely help boost. I mean, I think the magic number of Colossus you want generally is at least 3, and then you get 4. Yeah, 3 to 4. and the rest you can maybe even start transitioning to High Templars, get some Storm to storm those locusts, even get some Archons to splash on those locusts, and then that's going to be a pretty high quality scary army for Astrea. But oh, these swarmers getting caught off in the middle, forcing the locusts to send their waves a lot earlier than they wanted to. But there is a nice counterattack. Oh, nice clutch warping by Astrea. Does not allow the run by to go through. And Astrea just defending like a beast.
Yeah, man. That's like American version of Showtime or Stats right there. Yeah, I think this is looking very good for Astrea. The best way to deal with swarmers is just force them to spawn the locus in a random place on the map and then retreat from that place. So that's why swarmers are so scary when they are attacking your bases, and because then you cannot just retreat because you have to fight them, right? And here, yeah, he already has also 4 Colossus, so locus just die instantly.
Oh man, this is such a big pick off. Getting all these swarm hosts. They just recently used their locust, so they can't shoot any more locusts. The Nidus was sniped off, so no more retreat. And now RagnaroK has been resetted to just Baneling and Ravager tech.
And that's not good enough, because Banelings, Link Bane compositions are also kind of weak against Colossus. What you need is definitely Vipers or Lurkers right now.
Yeah, and you know what? He even got Blink Stalker, so not only the Colossus, but he can blink against the Banelings. And you know what? The Banelings doesn't even have Baneling speed. It is only 30% done, halfway done. So if Astrea attacks now, he might possibly just clean up the whole army.
Yeah, and look at the bank. It's the Protoss that's gonna remax instantly, not the Zerg. So it's looking really good. If he the only thing that might get a little scary there is massive flank with Banelings. As I said, Korean Zergs like to get like million Banelings, and right now we are approaching 60. So if there is a massive flank from both sides, it still could go not too good for Astrea. So he has to be very careful. Let's see what RagnaroK is gonna do. So right now, for example, Astrea managed to cut off RagnaroK, so now he's not gonna be able to attack from 2 sides, which is very good for. Oh, but still, he still manages to. So let's see. He manages to get all the Colossi with Banelings. Banelings killing Colossus, and he's cleaning it up. He's cleaning this up.
Oh wow, it's a really nice flank there by RagnaroK, and all of a sudden, Astrea is on the back foot. He does have quite a few bank, as you mentioned earlier, so he will be able to remake his army. The question is, what does he remake? It looks like he's going to remake Colossus Disruptor. So basically the same army once again. Do you think he should have transitioned into a different, maybe air attack or something?
I think this was very good. So I mean, it wasn't a good fight, but this was very expensive for RagnaroK. He had 60 Banelings, and after the fight he had 0. So that means he lost a big chunk of his army. And right now I think going Colossus again is pretty solid. But I would like to also maybe see Storm here. With this kind of money that he has, you know, Stalkers are not such a good unit in general, and even now. You rather want to get good units. So you want to get High Templars, you want to get Archons, you want to get Colossus. These force fields are just amazing right there. So there's still small chance that Astrea is gonna hold, but it's looking tougher and tougher.
Yeah, unfortunately for Astrea, he kind of blinked the Stalker in a weird way where it's still clumped up. I think it would have been better if he kind of spread it, blink spread, like blink while spreading, would have mitigated some of the splash damage of those Banelings. But the good thing is that all the Banelings have been evaporated. However, it's only mainly Stalkers. I'm not sure if that's the tech of choice that he wants. There is one Disruptor. He can get a good Disruptor hit, maybe, possibly. He can hold against this. He does have a lot of Warpins to help reinforce. So I think he should be able to stabilize.
Yeah, these Phoenixes are actually doing a very good job. They eventually pick off one by one Ravager here and there, and you know it adds up. But the problem is that he lost the form. So suddenly his economy is just very bad. So he essentially has like 10 mineral patches to mine from, and all of them are super close to getting mined out. So it's not looking good for Astrea, but he's at least not dead, which is well, not bad, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, just a minute ago we were mentioning Astrea's bank is pretty much gone. He does have a decent amount of gas, but again, not a lot of minerals as his force was taken out. So now he's got to rebuild it. He's gonna stick with stalkers and disruptors.
Yeah, and RagnaroK is going for infestors and then eventually into broodlords because he has a greater spire already. And stalkers are not good against any of these units. So I think the clock is ticking, and if Astrea doesn't kill RagnaroK during that transition, and he probably won't, then I think it's looking better and better for RagnaroK, especially since all the stalkers can just easily get fungaled. One fungal and Astrea is dead.
Yeah, one fungal and pretty much is game over. And remember, RagnaroK is one game away from winning the entire series, so Astrea desperately needs to win this game if he wants to have any hopes of winning the majority of the prize pool. And now he looks like he is going back into Colossus tag. He's adding the Templar Archive. Maybe if he can possibly kind of delay the game into the late game, then possibly he can muster up a significant army force to hopefully pull out the win, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, the thing is, Broodlords are the counter to High Templars generally, right? So the problem is that you, as a Zerg, you barely manage to get them in time before Protoss reaches critical number of storms. But the problem here right now is that the storm is not even finished, and the Broodlords are already supported by infestors, and they are already at the side of the map of the Protoss. So Astrea is generally just extremely behind in tech, and this is very likely that it's gonna be very tough to hold this.
Oh yeah, and oh my god, all the Banelings killed the majority of the probes, so he already got the damage he wanted. Even if Astrea does host this, he is down 32 workers to 78. Oh man, even some of the disruptors getting Miss Michael there gets taken out, and he is down to only one disruptor, 2 Colossus, and all the
Yes,
Broodlord.
but he managed to actually reduce the Broodlord count into just 3, so there's still tiny hope, but he has to go now. He has to do the damage right now. He cannot get fungal too much. This is 2 Colossus, it's still scary, and this is 1 Disruptor. So this is all the good units he has, but he managed to kill the Broodlord, and that's the most important part, because I actually don't agree with the move out that RagnaroK did. Against Protoss that's going pure ground army, you want to build up a huge number of Broodlords, like 15 or something, and here this is still winnable for Astrea.
Yeah, this is his timing window. I feel like, the army supply is in favor of the Protoss. He is not, I don't expect him to win the long game as he is down so much workers. But oh man, nice Colossus rallies. Get some good splash damage on top of those Ravagers and Roaches. And can he do it? Oh man. This is going to be close.
This is so close, and I think Astrea is... he has done basically the best he could. Is it gonna be enough? He's slicing 9 drones right now, 12 drones. So suddenly RagnaroK's economy is not really good, and GG, he did it. Nice.
Oh my god, it looks so dire for our Protoss friend, and he just managed to pull it off on the right timing. Oh man, what a turnaround.
Yeah, man, that bank from before, he just was so ahead in mid game that he could even get his army smashed and take a lot of damage, and yet still he was able to build the last one powerful army, and he managed to win with it. I think Broodlords got caught out of position, I think, right?
Yeah, out in the wide open space as well. Was able the Blinkstalkers was able to take down or get on the bottom of the Broodlords and was able to snipe out a bunch of them. So a little bit of a misdecision there by RagnaroK. And Astrea, he is doing it.
Yep. So that's 4-3. So yeah, it seems you were right with your prediction that it's gonna be pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close thus far, and we'll see if Astrea can push it into the ace match.
Mm-hmm.
All right, looks like Astrea needs a 2-minute break. I mean, I wouldn't blame him because that game was insane.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
All right. While we were in the game, we had another follow by Last Resort SC. Thank you, Last Resort, for the follow. Appreciate it. We had definitely had a lot of follows this stream. So shout out to everybody who's been so supportive. And if you want to further support the players, though, there is a Matcherino code where you can use to donate 50 cents for free to the prize pool. Just head on over to the Matcherino link right here. Click on sign in with whatever you want to sign in with. You can sign in with your Discord, with your Twitch, with your Battle.net account. Click on the contribute button, put in the coupon code, and yeah, that's pretty much all you need to do. And I'm sure, I'm sure the players will definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. So we've got Triton, and that's RagnaroK's peak.
All right, both players are ready, so we are heading into our game number 8. Remember, guys, RagnaroK is still 1 point away from winning the series, but we'll see if Astrea can pull out a win and tie up the series and head into our ace match. Guys, type into the chat. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah,
Oh, I was just gonna say, guys, type into the chat who you got, who you want to cheer for. Whether you want to cheer for RagnaroK or Astrea, type it into the chat. And yeah, what you were about to say?
I was about to say, like, this is one of them. Like, this is a very, very important game because if Astrea wins this, he's gonna have momentum to the last game. Because on one hand, this is RagnaroK's map pick, so he probably picked the best map he could, and also just mentally, if you are winning 4-2, and then suddenly you're 4 against 4, then it's a very stressful situation. So this game is gonna be very, very important.
Oh yeah, the pressure would definitely be on RagnaroK's side, and Astrea will probably feel really confident heading into the last game. But the question is, can he even go into the last game? We shall see. He has been going for a Stargate opening throughout the whole series thus far. Do you think he's just going to stick with it, or do you think he's going to pull out a rabbit out of the hat?
When we had so much last week, it was innovation against Su.
Yep.
Innovation played 8 games in a row. He played mech, and then in the 9th game he played bio. So who knows? I would definitely not count out anything else. But it seems Astrea feels comfortable with Stargate. Stargate feels pretty safe in general and fine. So I think it's likely that he's gonna continue with it.
Yeah, it seems like Stargate is his kind of a sweet spot. He's pretty comfortable with it. And it looks like Sushi in the chat rooting for Astrea. He's got the. I mean, I mean, he's not. I mean, he's not biased at all. I mean, I'm sure.
No conflict of interest at all, right?
Someone rooting for Astrea too. No bias at all.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the building right now, and that's the Stargate. I feel it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and he seems to be repeating the pattern of. No, actually not. Just the positioning, but he went Stalker first that time, and this time he's just going Adept first. But RagnaroK is not really committing to scouting too much early game. He kind of blindly counters everything, and not really just sacrifices the Overlord too much. So there's still chance it's gonna happen the same way it happened last time. He just managed to surprise RagnaroK and have a couple of kills here and there.
Yeah. So far the initial Adept has just basically been used for scouting purposes. Hasn't really gotten much harassment done with the initial Adept. Just gonna scout into the natural, see how many drones there are. Make sure that RagnaroK is not pulling out some crazy all-in, like crazy Ling cheese or something. But yeah, looks like a Oracle will be popping out for Astrea. and looking pretty similar compared to other games.
Yep, yep. You know that adepts, you kind of don't want to commit it too much. You just want to scout around. You want to see if this is, like you said, is it some crazy build? So I think this is you don't you. This is fine. Everything that's happening, and let's see what the Oracle is gonna do. Is it gonna kill a lot of drones or no?
Well, the one thing I do already like is that Astrea did actually rally the or go onto the side instead of through the middle and the watchtower. We'll get 2 drones for it.
Yep, 2 drones for free. No damage on Oracle whatsoever. So this is pretty good start for Astrea, I think.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be pretty much a similar. I mean, the first time around he on Triton, he did go for the Stalker opening, but this time around he actually went for the Adept. But he did follow up with another Stalker opening, so pretty much looking like the same, where he would transition into a 4 High Templar and then turn into Archon and War Prism drop. Now remember, last time around he didn't. I mean, it went horribly wrong. The War Prism got sniped off. The Adepts didn't really do much. They all got surrounded, and the Oracles also didn't really do much with the Stasis Ward. So hopefully this time around, I mean, in Astrea's eyes, hopefully he wants to make this work compared to that last game on Triton.
Yeah, and right now I would say the game went even better so far for us. He managed to kill 7 drones without losing an Oracle. I think that's a very good result. Right now he's probably preparing to do that Archon drop as well, and if he can, though RagnaroK manages to instantly spot it, so it's going to be slightly hard for RagnaroK to deny to Astrea to just pull it off. But he was protecting the Archons with the Oracles, so it's a really nice move. So the Archons managed to morph in peace.
Yeah. Oh, I like this variation. He's actually not committing as much Adepts. He's only committing 2 Adepts. 2 Adepts, of course, enough to one-shot drones, which is the magic number you want. Remember last time he kind of shaded in with like a I think 8 or 10 Adepts. So this time around he's going to be a bit conservative. He doesn't lose the War Prism, so that's already a good thing. Good start.
Yeah, I think this is pretty okay for Astrea in general. There was a moment where there was 58 workers for both of players, or 57, so that was a pretty solid situation. I think the 4th base for RagnaroK is not super early. I think maybe even so. As a Zerg, you know, when you lose 8 drones, it's not the end of the world, but you're not super happy. So it's kind of just a normal game. So you're supposed to kill this number of drones as a Protoss, and you're supposed to lose this many drones as a Zerg, I guess. So now let's see whether Astrea is gonna scout the Spire or not, right? This is critical right now. Is he gonna be able to launch a Phoenix production, or is he gonna get completely surprised by it?
Yeah, 8 Mutas on the production tab, so not too committed. So hopefully, I think Astrea will not to have too much trouble. Though we have definitely seen a lot of games where the Zerg would just go for a few Mutas and get so much damage done. The question is, can he scout it in time? Last game on Triton, he didn't really expect the Mulus. He was actually going for attack while the Mulus was popping out, and it was able to snipe out the War Prism. But this time around, he is gonna. Oh, actually, the hallucination just barely misses the Mulus.
Yeah, I wonder is he gonna go for the War Prism to snipe those 2 Archons, but he decided not to. And now he's gonna attack the Phoenix, he's gonna kill the Phoenix, and maybe even unpower the Stargate. I wonder if now he decides to just deal as much damage as possible. And I think there's a high chance he might kill a lot of probes right there.
Ooh, so far 5 probes going down.
Yeah, but that's 9, 10 already, so that's what I was talking about before. These kind of random mutas, they can randomly kill so much stuff, so it's very scary, and I think this is not the end even. There's only 1 Phoenix, so the mutas can still be very scary. This is kind of the damage that was all he needed. Right now, these mutas have paid for themselves. I think they're gonna even snipe the 2 oracles. And right now, RagnaroK is transitioning into Roach Ravager Link. He might bailing, and he might even decide to do a push, deny the 4th base, and this is looking quite okay for RagnaroK.
Yeah, his plus 1 melee is actually about to finish, so this might actually be a good time to attack actually, and yeah, take advantage of that plus 1. But it looks like he is gonna stay back for now. Although it is important to note that he is maxed out, so whatever resources he mines from this point forward, he will be banking. While Astrea, he's not quite there yet. He's 150 supply around there, and trying to establish his 4th base. But this attack, it's incoming.
Yeah, if this attack happened 20 seconds ago, and it could, Astrea would have no storms whatsoever. And now let's see, he still doesn't have them. Like, this is okay. He has 1, 2. Oh, it's not researched. It's not researched.
Oh, okay, 4
yeah,
storms just finished. Wow, just barely in time. But I think he needs to cancel this 4th, which he does. But there's so much.
Good enough.
Yeah. Oh no, he's back into the corner.
Yeah, he's barely holding, but I think that's not a hold. He might not die right now, but RagnaroK is just gonna keep sending another wave after wave. There are still mutas out, although there are 3 phoenixes, so he's not probably gonna use them. But it's just 50 links remax right now, and Astrea just remaxed with a couple of zealots, maybe an Archon or something. He's not gonna be able to rebuild Storm. I think this is looking pretty bad for Astrea right now.
Yeah, Astrea during that battle lost the majority of his immortals, the majority of his archons, which are the units that you really want to save. And now he's just this is quite a sad of army. And you know what, the mutas even going to get on top of the High Templars. Ooh, nice save there with the War Prison, but still, this scary army is here at the ground, and the swarm is going to get
run by at the 4th base of Zerg is the only chance of Astrea right now, pretty much. Oh, he's also pushing at the front, and he seems to be breaking Astrea. However, that run by gets cleaned up. The main army is getting slowly cleaned up. However, it seems like RagnaroK's army is also not too strong. So Astrea is holding, but it's still looking pretty dire.
Yeah, the overall supply heavily in favor of RagnaroK, and he is getting his 5th base. Australia has yet to even re-establish his 4th base, and now I am not sure what Australia can do. He is gonna try to continue the charge that run bys in order to buy him some time, which probably is his best call, because right now he definitely need a lot of time. He probably needs a lot of time, as well as 2 Christmas miracles or something. I mean, RagnaroK is just in a dominant position.
Yeah, but he was on 4 bases, right? And 4 bases is not amazing, because Zerg is scary on either when it's 3 base against 2 base, or 5 base against 3 base. When it's 4 base against 3 base, it's kind of fine, because obviously Zerg units are slightly less efficient. So the problem right now is that it seems like RagnaroK is transitioning into Broodlords, and that gives a lot of time to Astrea, yes, but on the other hand, this makes it very difficult, because he has to, on one hand, on only 6 gases, he has to rebuild his entire Immortal Archon High Templar style, army, but also on top of that, he has to transition into countering whatever is coming next, which is Broodlords, right? So I think this is quite okay for Astrea when it comes to just, he's at least not dead, but his situation is not getting any better at all.
Yeah, I think Astrea realized this, and I think he's taking a risky risk getting this 5th base so early. He knows that he needs to do something to at least try to crawl back into the game, which I like the decision. It's gonna get canceled, of course, as RagnaroK is on top of it, but I did like the decision to go for that early 5th. But in the meantime, he does catch some of the Ravagers on the retreat, so that is a nice win. So yeah, I think Astrea buying some time, but those cover-ups are making, and Broodlords will come out soon.
They're already out, actually. There's 8 of them.
Oh.
And the question
Oh,
is,
right, yeah.
what's gonna happen now? So, RagnaroK beforehand, he attacked with 8 Broodlords and got punished. Because when it comes to Broodlords, it's very funny dynamic. When Protoss is transitioning into Skytos, you want to attack as quickly as you can, as quickly as you have a little Broodlords, and right now, for example, right? But when you're facing a Protoss that's purely committed to ground and is not switching to Skytos, what you want to do is wait and bank more Broodlords. You want to go up to easily 15 or more. So right now it seems like Astrea is transitioning to Skytos, although he is building Void Race, and so this is a good moment to attack for Ragnar.
Alright, looks like Astrea has decided to go for the counterattack, which I think was probably his best bet, as he's definitely not able to match up against this scary army of the Zerg. Looks like it's going to draw RagnaroK, his Broodlords, back home. So he is going to go ahead and try to save this with his Broodlords, which is funny because I think he should have just left his Broodlords. But anyhow, Astrea is going to try to make this work. Gets out a base. Now, he does have a recall, so he can possibly try to save his army with a recall and buy enough time to mass up enough Void Rays, which is exactly what he does. So
yeah, and the scary part for RagnaroK right now is that Astrea is chrono boosting a lot of Void Rays, and Void Rays, you know how good they are against the Corruptors, right? So if he gets up to high Void Ray count, this could be a little scary. However, and I think this is also Flux Veins are being researched, so the Void Rays are gonna be just speed rays. But also RagnaroK decided to go for Vipers, and I think they're very, very good at countering Void Rays, because they're just simply gonna parasitic bomb them, and they're most likely gonna die. However, maybe Fungal would be even better just to stop them in place. Still, with the key to beating Void Rays is Spellcaster, so I think RagnaroK is making a very, very good choice. But the game is still dragging on, and kinda Astrea is maybe slowly crawling back into it.
I mean, Astrea definitely shown that he can come back. I mean, just from that Internal Empire game, or yeah, the Internal Empire game. But ooh, nice. Parasitic bomb on those Phoenixes will kind of weaken them. But again, Astrea, he's buying himself enough time to at least kind of crawl back. The unfortunate thing is that during that base trade, sort of, RagnaroK was able to take out 2 of Astrea's base, while Astrea was only able to take out 1 of the bases.
I agree, yes.
So that was definitely not the best trade there.
Yeah, RagnaroK is very rich. He's building new base, and on top of that, he's already building a lot of spore crawlers, spine crawlers, right? So it's very hard to deal any kind of damage to just harass him. But also, he is getting very interesting composition, and that's something I really wanted to learn, but never really had motivation to, is learning how to use 3 spellcasters at once for Zerg. So you've got Infestors, you've got Vipers, and you've also got Queens to transfuse. This seems to be very difficult, but I think Cyril knows how to do it. And in this situation, pulling the Queens would also be very, very good to just transfuse the Corruptors, transfuse the Broodlords. But at least it seems like RagnaroK is going to use 2, which is very, very good. Fungal on top of Void Rays and then Parasitic Bomb is just super, super deadly. Or a Fungal plus Blinding Cloud on top of the ground units, I think. So this is looking pretty good for RagnaroK, and if I was Astrea, I would be really risky.
Oh, gets a nice fungal growth there. Oh boy. Oh, but actually nice storm on top of the Broodlord. Oh, actually get the front line, but not too much. But oh man, this base is just so open here, and it will definitely go down along with the probes.
Yeah. The Infestors only have fungal growth right now. They don't even have Nepral. It's soon they are gonna have. But this is a very big problem. What just happened right now? Astrea again just doesn't have bases, and denying this force, retreating from that force was probably a good call when it comes to surviving, right? He kind of had to, but on the other hand, he's still at 3 bases at 20-minute mark almost. So just has no money.
Yeah, that was his last true mining base, and I think Ragnarok. I think we would call this playing with your food, because at any point Ragnarok could just flat out attack and end this game, but he's just letting Astrea die very, very slowly and painfully.
Yes and no, because yes, but it's his safest bet. There was a chance that he would screw up all the fungals, all the spells from Vipers, and all of his Broodlords would get cleaned up by Voiders. There was a chance. So he just decided, well, I'm just gonna kill the 4th base, and I don't even have to fight this just yet, and I'm gonna be fine. However, he's letting Astrea transition to really scary Skytos. This is also 4 carriers. So I think he's giving him too much time in general.
Yeah, I mean, I still favor Ragnarok, of course, but his back is not that crazy scary. He does have a nice gas bank, but the mineral is not like too insane, so Ragnarok can't be too careless. If you screw up a major battle recklessly, that could definitely favor Astrea to come back into this game.
Yeah. Let's imagine, for example, all the spellcasters get picked off or abducted, or feedbacked or something. Then corruptors get stormed, all the corruptors die. Suddenly, Void Race and carriers clean up all the Broodlords, and suddenly this is very, very bad. So this is still a very scary fight to take.
All right, here we go. This is going to be a major fight, and oh my God, so much storm on those Broodlords. However, those charge up Void Rays are pretty slow. Parasitic Bomb going on. Oh, he's clumping up quite a lot. Oh, I think Astrea should retreat, recharge his health, because right now he's getting fungled. Oh my God, those Void Rays.
These bodies are so red and orange. But so far, I would say this was amazing trade for Astrea, right? The problem is that he's trading, and he cannot trade. He just needs to win right now, because he just has no money, no probes, nor anything. So he managed to reduce Broodlord count, which is decent, but there's still 15 Corruptors. What about Spellcasters? They are all dead, so technically there's still chance for Astrea to win this.
Yeah, but there's just too much. I mean, Hydroless transition there, no answer for them, no High Templars, and I think Ragnarok has finally done it. He will take this 5-3 win and claim victorious.
Yes, indeed. Both spellcasters, yeah, this is tough. And Skytos is really only scary when you're comfortable doing it. By comfortable, I mean just having a lot of bases, a lot of money, right? Then you might lose a fight here and there, but you just remax again and you trade very well generally, right? But in the situation where you're super broke, Skytos is just kind of expensive, so it's kind of just deluxe army, right? A luxury army. And if you don't have that kind of money, then suddenly Skytos is not that scary, because in low numbers carriers are not that good. They are only good once you have 10 of them or something. They just wreck everything.
Yeah, but what a series! Amazing games by both players. I definitely enjoyed them. How about you?
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm happy to see Astrea trying Skytos. I advised him to. It didn't maybe work out that well in some of the games, but in the game where everything was going okay, he managed to get a really nice win with Skytos. So yeah, I feel like this was very interesting series. Back and forth comebacks, many different styles. It was really, really nice to watch.
For sure. And we got some additional follows. G-Leg1 as well as ZOXZB. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. All the follows, guys, throughout the whole cast. You have any last words, Matisse, before we wrap this up?
No, I don't think so. It was just really nice game, and I invite every one of you to watch more of them in future. I think we've got already a couple of them planned, and they're usually, worth your time, I think.
Yeah, and thank you everybody for tuning in. This is, I believe this is our highest viewership on here on our Twitch account, our Twitch channel. So appreciate all you for tuning in. Hopefully you guys had a great time. And until next time, this is your friendly neighborhood puppy dog Snoopy, as well as Matisse, signing out.
Nuclear missile ready.